This is the top 5 best class setups in Black Ops 6. We're going to start out with this, doesn't really matter. We're throwing on the Kepler. Microflex is absolutely amazing. If you don't want to use this, you can use the Merlin Mini or anything else that you want to. Next, we're going to go on to the Suppressor or Compensator, depending on the type of enemies you're playing against. If they're super good, I would say use Compensator because they're going to find you anyway. But if they're not as good, you can use Suppressor just to stay off the minimap, try to get some extra streaks. Completely up to you. These other ones really don't matter that much in my opinion. I think the Compensator or Suppressor is the best option. Next, we're going to go with the Reinforced Barrel. Now, some people would say, well, why aren't you using long barrel bullet velocity? I think the reinforced barrel is absolutely the best choice for multiplayer, but in Warzone, I would more so go along with the gain twist or reinforced barrel. Next, we're going to go with the extended mag 2 or 1. It doesn't really matter which one you would go with. These are both really good options. Extended mag 1, more so you have no penalties, but extended mag 2, you have a little bit more bullets, so it's really whatever you want. Next, we're going to go to the buffer weight stock. This is actually pretty amazing. It helps with vertical and horizontal recoil control. The cons are very minuscule. If you didn't care too much about that, you can use the vertical foregrip and there will be no cons whatsoever. But you're going to see it in the firing range just how powerful this is. It takes no effort to absolutely use this gun. As you see, these firing range targets are just super easy to take down. Not really much effort and gets the job done. Now, if you don't want to use these, if you want to have a gunfighter version, go to the underbarrel, put on the vertical foregrip. That'll be the first thing you put on. Next, you put on, well, I guess I'll show you guys everything just so you guys can see how it actually play out. So vertical foregrip. For the rear grip, you can go quick draw, commando, or ergo. I think because this is an AR, you'd be better off going with the quick draw grip. Next, for the laser, you don't need a laser. And then for the fire mod, you can use rapid fire if you want to because of all the recoil adjustments. I see there's this new thing, 3-round burst. It's actually pretty interesting. I think that's new for the season. We're going to try that out when the Merry Mayhem comes out, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. But I think rapid fire recoil springs would be a pretty good option. You can use NATO overpressure too. So one of these three, we're just going to put on rapid fire. Why not? So when you go in the firing range, this is what you're going to get. I mean, it's actually pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't really move because of all the recoil benefits. So if you want the ultimate XM4, this would be the one for you. Next, we're going to move on to the PP919. This is one of those SMGs that don't really need gunfighter, but I will give you guys an alternative if you guys really want it. So we are going to throw on the suppressor. The suppressor is pretty vital. I'm not going to lie. If you're not using a suppressor on this SMG, you're just missing an opportunity. If you want to use compensator, be my guest, but I think suppressor will be more beneficial for you. Next, we're going to go with the reinforced barrel. If you don't want this, you can use a long barrel. If you're using if you're playing multiplayer. If you're playing Warzone, you can use reinforced barrel. I wouldn't really recommend gain twist barrel. I just don't think that it's really worth it. I think reinforced or long, those are two options. Magazine, you don't need a magazine because it already has a ton of bullets. Ergonomic grip is the best choice for SMGs because of slide to fire, dive to fire, and aim down sight speed. Next, we're going to go with no stock. I mean, this is just pretty amazing and self-explanatory. If you don't want this, you can go with balanced stock or combat stock, but I think no stock is just the most beneficial. And then we finally put on the Makarov overpressured for the bullet velocity. Just to show you guys how amazing this is in the firing range. It doesn't take much effort to actually use this thing. See, this thing basically has no recoil. I would avoid like the super long gunfights like that unless you can actually control the recoil, but this thing is absolutely amazing. Now, if you want to use a gunfighter version, what you're going to do is throw on an optic. If you really want to do this, Kepler Microflex, put that on there. For the magazine, you can put extended mag 1. For the laser, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can put on target laser, tactical laser, fast motion laser, anything that you really want to. Steady aim laser, who cares? I guess for the sake of it, we'll put target laser. And just going in the firing range, I honestly don't think it's worth it to put all this on there, especially because it's already really good. I feel like it's just going to hurt the performance. But if this is something that you like, then be my guest to put this on. Me personally, I'm taking all this off and just rocking with these 5 attachments right here will get the job done. Next, we're going to go on to the Saug. I absolutely love the Saug. It's an amazing SMG and gets the job done very well for me. We're going to go with the suppressor unless you want to use compensator. Completely up to you, whatever one you want. Next, we're going to go with the reinforced barrel. This is actually the best attachment barrel-wise. I don't think that you should use these other two, but if you want to, be my guest. We're going to go with the vertical foregrip. Next, we're going to, well, here's the thing with the vertical foregrip. You can use the Ranger foregrip if you want to. Just know that you're not going to have as much horizontal recoil control. And I think this already moves pretty quick. So completely up to you, whichever one you want between Ranger and vertical. Next, we're going to go with the extended mag 1. This slightly reduces reload quickness, but there's really no cons aside from that. So this is the best choice. Ergonomic grip. This is the final one you want to put on there. If you don't have this, you can use quick draw grip for the time being. But once you get ergonomic grip, just put that on there. Now, if you want to use gunfighter, you're going to put on either the balance, the infiltrator, or the light stock. These are all pretty good. You have to weigh your pros and cons. I think the balance is actually the best choice overall. I don't think you really need a laser, but if you want to put one on there, like I said, steady aim laser or target laser would be the best choice. And for fire mods, I don't really recommend rapid fire, but if you want recoil springs, I mean, that'd be pretty decent. I don't think it's going to be the absolute best, but you can use overpressured. Go into the firing range, and this thing just does not move. This thing's an absolute laser. It gets the job done really well for short to medium range engagements. I would not really recommend using this long range. You'd probably be at a downfall. So let's just keep that in mind. Next, we're going to go with the Jackal PDW because this thing is absolutely amazing. I guess I accidentally unequipped some things, so we're just going to start from scratch. For the muzzle, we're going to go suppressor or compensator, completely up to you, whichever one you want. Next, for the barrel, we're going to go with the reinforced barrel. Unless you want to go the gain twist barrel, I don't think you really need long barrel for this. I think it's already pretty good. Reinforced barrel is actually a pretty good option, so we're going to stick with that. Under barrel, we're going to go vertical foregrip, unless you want to go with the Ranger foregrip. It's actually a pretty nice option. As you see the 2+ arrows on the horizontal recoil control, it's still beneficial. I just think that overall the vertical foregrip is the best choice. So next, for the magazine, you can put one extended mag. Just extended mag one, I think that'd be fine. Beyond that, I think it would just hurt you. For the rear grip, I would go with ergonomic grip once again. Now, with gunfighter, what I would recommend is either going no stock, infiltrator, or balance. Now, as you guys see, there's a lot of perks when it comes to balanced stock, so I would recommend putting on the balanced stock the most, but it's really up to you. I want to give you guys multiple options. For the laser, once again, you can put on target laser, steady aim laser, or whatever. I mean, you don't even need a laser, honestly. It's just if you want to have it on there. And then you can put on recoil springs or macro overpressured. For the sake of it, we'll put on recoil springs because why not? Go into the firing range, and this thing is really just absolutely amazing. It does not compare. Like, there's nothing that really competes with this. The damage is insane. Most people in competitive are using this, but if you're just using the regular 5 attachment version, this will be the one for you. This is the good choice right here. But say you don't want to use the PP919. Say you don't want to use the XM4. Go with the AMES 85 or AMES 85. All this time I thought it was the AMES. Somebody told me it was the AMES. So the AMES or AMES 85 is absolutely amazing. This is what you're mainly seeing at competitive. I'm going to give you guys a slightly more public friendly build, starting out with the Merlin Mini or the Kepler Microflex, whichever one you want. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's your choice. Putting on suppressor, unless you don't care about being on the minimap, then put on the compensator. Both are good. I'll show you both versions, but we're starting with the suppressor. Reinforced barrel is incredible. Make sure you guys have this on there, or the long barrel, one or the other. Reinforced or long barrel. Next, put on the precision foregrip. Precision foregrip is really nice. Now, if you don't care too much about precision foregrip, you can put on the vertical foregrip. I just thought that this was basically nice to have aiming idle sway control, but if you don't care too much about that, if you want to stay meta, then just go with the vertical foregrip. Extended mag 1 is optimal just because you're not going to really have any other cons other than reload quickness. Next, put on the quick draw grip. You're probably wondering, not commando, not ergonomic, just because it's fantastic. As an AR, I like, having the ADS speed. I know the XM4, I did not have that. I more so had, I think, the commando, but for this weapon right here, I think I would hold positions pretty well, and so I need the aim down sight speed. Next is the balanced stock or the light stock or the infiltrator stock. But in this scenario, I think the balanced stock was the best choice, so this is what I chose. And then the recoil springs. This thing is super good, gets the job done. I'm once again floating for some reason. There we go. All right. This thing, absolutely incredible. Even does a good job at long range. Now, say you don't want a suppressor. Take off the suppressor, put on the compensator. Here's what we're gonna do. This thing is crazy. I mean, it really doesn't take much effort to use, but say you don't have gunfighter, what we're gonna do is basically take off recoil springs, and you're gonna take off balanced stock, and I'm pretty sure we have to take off one more thing. So unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can take off the quick draw grip if you want to, or extended mag. Pick whichever one you want to. I'll take off the quick draw grip just for this scenario. And basically, you're just going to be somebody holding position. You're not going to be focusing too much on, I guess, the quick draw. And this is the build for you.